Howdy y'all, my name's Gamer James and welcome to Let's Play The Evolution of Trust. I can't do that tongue roll thing for the life of me, y'all. So I was going to do another Escape the Room game, then I happened upon this game. I happened to use Codecademy, and I'm not sponsored by them, I just happen to be a user and I am enjoying it so far, so you're welcome for the free advertising there, Codecademy. But I was looking into the data science career path, and it showed some projects that can be made with data science, and this happened to be one of them, and I just thought it was such a cool idea. It's a, I don't know if you can even call it a game, it's more of a, I guess, a lecture in interactive form, but tomato, tomato. This is pretty cool. It's by Nicky Case back in July 2017. I didn't even have to research that. It's right there on there. Hope you can read this, by the way. I did have to shrink the window down a bit, but I already like this interface here. Woo! Didn't mean to do that there, sorry. Oh, it's the symbolism of links of trust between people, and how many people they trust. And I just love the way this looks. It reminds me of a thing called Soda Play. I think it was sodaplay.com. Did any of you ever get into that? That's pretty fun. I think that's still around. I don't know. But anyway, as the name suggests, this is an experiment in trust between people and how it evolves over time, evidently. I don't know how accurate it is or what we can learn from it, but it is very, very interesting. So we're going to see, I'm going to get into it here, see not only how much fun it is, but what kind of crazy deep thoughts I get into. Y'all know me, I play games for the fun of it, but also the deepness of it. So heaven knows how deep this is going to get. But we won't find out until we step out, so I'm trusting you, game, to be fun. Here's hoping. That was superstitious. Finger crossed, not just kidding. Finger crossed. Okay. What am I even talking about? Let's do this. During World War One, I always go with a British accent when I'm narrating. During World War One, peace broke out. It was Christmas 1914 on the Western Front. Despite strict orders not to chillax with the enemy, British and German soldiers left their trenches, crossed no man's land, and gathered to bury their dead, exchange gifts, and play games. I've learned some of this, but imagining it is a whole other story, y'all. Meanwhile, it's 2017. The West has been at peace for decades, and wow, we stink at trust. Oh boy. Here we are 5 years afterward, and stink a lot more, don't we? And not no less, I'll tell you that much. Surveys show that over the past 40 years, fewer and fewer people say they trust each other. So here's our puzzle. Why, even in peacetime, do friends become enemies? And why, even in wartime, do enemies become friends? It's poetic already, isn't it? I think game theory can help explain our epidemic of distrust. Game theory, I'm not entirely sure what that's about, even as a gamer, but I think it's the idea that people see life as a game. Don't quote me on that, I don't know. I think game theory can help explain our epidemic of distrust and how we can fix it. I sure hope so. So to understand all this, let's play a game. I have played some of this, it's pretty fun, but not all of it, so let's see what we're in for. The game of trust. You have one choice. I like this idea already. You have one choice. Red hat or a blue hat? No. You have one choice. In front of you is a machine. If you put a coin in the machine, the other player gets 3 coins, and vice versa. You both can either choose to cooperate, put in a coin, or cheat, don't put in a coin. There's me, there's the other player, and there's a little statistical chart here. Let's say the other player cheats and doesn't put in a coin. What should you do? I'm not going to give you money. Oops, I picked the wrong thing. Last turn, well, I think this is what I did the first time. Last turn, the other cheek just gets you slapped. Now, if you cooperate and they cheat, you lose a coin while they gain 3. However, if you both cheat, neither of you gain or lose anything. So yeah, if you cooperate, its score is -1 versus +3, -1 versus +3. But if we both cheat, its score is 0 versus 0. Therefore, you should cheat. Okay, well, let's say the other player cooperates and puts in a coin. What should you do now? I'm going to be a nice guy and cooperate. Sure, seems like the right thing to do. Or is it? Because if you both cooperate, you both give up a coin to gain 3. So score is +2 versus +2. Sorry, +2 versus +2. If you cheat and they cooperate, you gain 3 coins at their cost of 1. plus 3 versus minus 1. Therefore, you should still cheat. You should still cheat. And that's our dilemma. I just noticed they're blinking. At least I was. Yeah, it'd be blinks. And that's our dilemma. Trust is nice, but it can let others take advantage of you, or shoot you as you come unarmed out of a trench. Sometimes distrust is rational. But now, what happens if we play this game more than once? What was with that reminded me of the old internet sound there. I think it's supposed to sound like a slot machine or something. Now, let's play for real. You'll be playing against 5 different opponents, each with their own game strategy. With each opponent, you'll play anywhere between 3 to 7 rounds. You won't know in advance when the last round is. Can you trust them? Or rather, can they trust you? Don't be silly. Pick your first real move. Choose wisely. I'll start out being a nice guy. I honestly don't know what I'd do in a real situation like this, but I'm gonna be a nice guy. Yay! Okay, so we got their opponents. Oh, this is the round. We're on 1 of 5, or how many rounds are done. Total score, right, my total score is 2, so we have, okay. I'm gonna cooperate. I'm gonna keep cooperating. Yay! He's a nice guy too. Or she's a nice girl, it's kind of hard to tell. And there's a guy with a top hat. I never trust people with a top hat. I'm going to cheat on you. Ha! We both cheated. Ha! Okay, I'll do this one time. You son of a... Okay, I'm done. I'm done trusting you. Oh, that was it. Okay. There's a nice lady. Nice looking lady, or at least somebody wearing a lady's hat. I'm going to give you some coinage. Voila. Okay, sounds just like Mario Brothers. Oh, it's opponents. 4 or 5. It's all the 5 opponents. I'm sorry. So this is a little tricky to figure out what is the best strategy. And can a computer figure that out? Can an AI figure that out? Or be taught that? And can we figure it out using data science? I don't know. Cooperate. Yeah, you can have it. Hey, he's being a nice guy. Well, I'll keep doing that. As long as you're the nice guy. Okay. And it's Detective Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Sherlock Holmes. I'll give you some money. Hey, give me some too. I'll give you some money and hey! Okay, nope, we're done. Oh, I'm winning. Okay. Well, now he's picking up on me. Let's do it again. Okay, it's the cheating worked out best. And your total score is 34, which is pretty good. The lowest and highest possible scores are 7 and 49, respectively. So who were these strange characters you just played against? So it turns out they had behavior, and I may or may not have known about that. Oh. So the first one was a copycat. Hello. I start with cooperate, and afterwards, I just copy whatever you did in the last round. Yow. And there's, this guy was always cheat. The strong shall eat the weak. Then this one was always cooperate. Let's be best friends. And there's the grudder. Listen, partner, this is me. Listen, partner, not just the accent too. Listen, partner, I'll start cooperating and keep cooperating, but y'all ever cheat me and I'll cheat you back till the end of tarnation! I think he means it. That's kind of the strategy I was using. I cooperate as long as they cooperate. And then there's the detective. First, I analyze you. I start, cooperate, cheat, cooperate, cooperate. If you cheat back, I'll act like copycats. If you never cheat back, I'll act like always cheat. To exploit you. Elementary, my dear Watson. That is so creative. Oh boy. So he starts with a certain pattern. If you cheat back, the moment you cheat back, he becomes copycat. If you never cheat back, he exploits you. So wise, but not very nice, I guess, is the best way to describe him. Now, what if these characters were to play against each other? It's tournament time! Each character will now play against every other character. That's 10 paired matches, and 10 rounds per match. Who do you think will get the highest total score? Think carefully about it, and then place your bets. Detective seems like the wise guy here, so... Forgot who's who? Oh yeah, you can hover over them. So, Copycat starts with cooperate, then does whatever you did in the last round. Always cooperates, always cheats. Starts cooperate and keeps cooperating until you cheat even once. Afterwards, it always plays cheat. And detective has the pattern, and then after that, if you cheat one time, it becomes copycat. If you never cheat, he goes to all cheat. So I think detective's gonna win. Alright, you placed your bet on detective. Let's go through the matches one by one and see how the tournament plays out. Oh, copycat versus always cheats. Oh, always cheats lost. Oh, by the way, you may be skeptical about that Christmas truce story about the World War I trenches. Surely that was just a fluke. I'm gonna read this and let these play out. Yes, the truce was dramatic, but it was neither unique nor unusual. Not every trench joined in the peace, but it was pretty widespread. Many front lines came up with the idea independently and again, despite specific, strict orders not to. And in fact, even before Christmas, several front lines already had established an unofficial secret peace. How do you do that, I wonder? They called it the live and let live system. Because you don't shoot me, I don't shoot you. And this worked in a lot of places. Mind-blowing, isn't it? You may still be skeptical. Most soldiers don't spontaneously form peace with the enemy. What's so special about trench warfare? Well, here's what's unique about the trenches. Unlike every other form of war, you have to face the same specific soldiers every day. It's a repeated game, and that makes all the difference. Anyway, and the winner is... Copycat! Apologies to your bet detective. Aw. Copycat goes by many names. The Golden Rule, Reciprocal Altruism, Tit for Tat, or Live and Let Live. That's why peace could emerge in the trenches of World War I. When you're forced to play the same game with the same specific people, not just the same generic enemy, over and over again, Copycat doesn't just win the battle, it wins the war. I wonder how often that strategy has worked beyond just that one war. Maybe y'all can enlighten me and everyone else watching this. But if things change a lot when you play multiple rounds of the same game, what if we play multiple tournaments? Now, let's let our population of players evolve over time. It's a 3-step dance. 1, play a tournament, let them all play against each other and tally up their scores. 2, eliminate the losers. Get rid of the 5 worst players. If there's a tie, pick randomly between them. 3, reproduce winners. Clone the 5 best players. If there's a tie, pick randomly between them. And repeat for as long as you'd like. Note, you don't have to wait for people to literally die and reproduce for a culture to evolve. All that's needed is that unsuccessful behaviors go away, and successful behaviors are imitated. That's usually how people work in the real life. They go with what has worked in the past. Not all the time, of course, but they go with what's worked in the past, and they get rid of what hasn't worked. I'm kind of saying that, hoping that it's true. A lot of people do go with things in the past that didn't work and think, well, it'll work this time somehow. Because things are different, and because I'm smart and we're smarter than them. I don't know. Phew. The deepness, y'all. So now, let's see this in action. Alright. Woo! Check out that shape there. Excuse me. That shape there. I'm pointing at the screen. Say we start with the following population of players. 15 always cooperates, 5 always cheats, 5 copycats. We'll ignore Grudger and Detective for now. We're going to do the tournament eliminate reproduce dance a dozen or so times. Let's make another bet. Who do you think will win the first tournament? Place your bets again. I'll go with Copycat. Makes sense. Copycat won the tournament last time. Why not again? Let's see if you're correct. Play the tournament. Eliminate the bottom 5. Some always cooperates lost. Uh-oh. Alas, Copycat did not win. But at least they didn't do as bad as always cooperate. They got eaten up by always cheat, whose numbers are now increased by 5. Let's try a few more rounds of this. Always cheat is still growing at the expense of always cooperate. Those poor ladies. But now all the always cooperate are dead. So that's bad strategy. And it is in real life, isn't it? Can't trust everybody. But you can. Can you trust some people? But wait. Uh-oh. That's right, the always cheats became a victim of their own success. They exploited the naive always cooperators, but once they ran out of them, they had to face the copycats, who are nice, but not naive. By simply copying the other player's moves, copycats can still play nice with each other, while always cheats just cheat themselves. Not only that, but it also means copycat can give always cheat a taste of their own medicine. Oh man. What does that sound like to you? That makes me think of good guys fighting bad guys and sometimes using their own strategy against them. Or, winning by hook or crook, as they say. Yeah, playing by the rules but exploiting them. Yeah, not breaking the rules but bending them. But we're just doing what you did. How do you like it, I'm not even getting specifics here. There's all kinds of specifics here you can relate this to. Copycat inherits the earth! So in the long run, you were right. Copycat wins. Always cheat may have won in the short run, but its exploitativeness was its downfall. So many rulers and leaders in history discovered that. This reminds me of a quote. We are punished by our sins, not for them. Albert Hubbard. Oh boy. Sounds a lot like sin is its own punishment, doesn't it? Oh, and by the way, this result is similar even if we put Grudger and Detective back in. Start the evolution process. I was going fast. No. Sometimes a few Grudgers may stick around, because when all players except Grudger and Copycat are eliminated, the two tie. Aha. So it seems the math of game theory is telling us something. That Copycat's philosophy, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, may not just be a moral truth, but also a mathematical truth. However, okay, is that their philosophy though? I thought it was do unto others as they do unto you, not what you want them to do to you. However, there's a problem. I don't know. Look around. The world's full of total jerkwads. If Copycat is the strategy in this repeated game of trust that's so powerful that even soldiers in World War I trenches independently evolved a similar strategy and called live and let live, why then are there so many untrusting, untrustworthy people? What's causing our epidemic of untrust? I can think of a few things, but what could it be? The deeper reasons go deep. Y'all, a clue's in that sentence itself, in this repeated game of trust. So far we've only talked about change in the game. So far we've only talked about change in the players. What about a change in the game? What could lead to the evolution of distrust? Before everything goes to heck. Oh, is that what's going to happen? Let's start with something nice. Here's a world filled entirely with always cooperates, except for one always cheat and one copycat. Use the buttons on the right to start the sim, go through it step by step, or reset. Let's speed this up. As you already know, copycat wins handily in the long run under our current rules, but that's under our current rules, which say the players play against each other for 10 rounds per match. Does copycat still win at 7 rounds? 5 rounds? 3, 2, 1, stop. Change the number, let's reset. Change the number of rounds with the slider below, then start the sim and see what happens. Feel free to experiment. Okay, let's go to 6. Yep, copycat still won there. Try 5. 5. Grab it. Start. No! They always cheats one. Now we got ourselves a mafia, basically. Now let's see how they do at 3. Let's keep sticking in my hand. It's swallowed up just like that. And 1. No! I didn't even get a chance. Okay. As you saw, if you don't play enough rounds, here are 5 or less, always cheat dominates. In 1985, when Americans were asked how many close friends they had, the most common answer was 3. If you asked me, I'd probably say something like somewhere between 3 and 5. No, I wouldn't even say that. Sheesh. In 2004, I would. In 2004, see, I don't even know. In 2004, the most common answer was 0. We now have fewer friends across class, racial, economic, and political lines because we have fewer friends, period. As you've just discovered for yourself, the fewer repeat interactions there are, the more distrust will spread. So we gotta get to know each other, in other words, gotta do things together. No, mass media doesn't count. It must be two-way interaction between specific individuals. Well, that's the problem, though. People are listening to the mass media, not each other. And oh, it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. There's another way to breed distrust. Here are the payoffs for the trust game. Right. 2 for each, 3 for one, and -1 for the other. or none for both. With the normal payoffs, Copycat wins, but now change the both cooperate reward from +2 to +1, then click Start. Oh. Less reward. Even though +1 is still more than the punishment for both cheating, 0, what happens? Oh. Simulate 10 rounds per match. So the same thing happens with a lower win-win reward. Always cheat takes over. Game theory has two powerful ideas about this. There's the zero-sum game. This is the sadly common belief that a game for us must come to a loss for them, and vice versa. So if one person wins, the other person loses. And there's the non-zero-sum game. This is when people make the hard effort to create a win-win solution, or at least avoid a lose-lose. I love sounding like I'm an expert on this, like I'm a professor. Without the non-zero-sum game, trust cannot evolve. So if there's no way to, in other words, if there's no way to make sure everyone wins or not everyone loses, there's no point in trust. I think I'm getting this. I'm learning. This is the new part for me, and I'm learning this as I go. So don't actually trust me. Don't. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just studying it and learning it along with you here. Speaking of which, let's now look at our third and final barrier to the evolution of trust. Mistakes. Yeah. Oh yes, I hadn't thought of that. As cool as Copycat is, it has a huge fatal weakness I haven't mentioned yet. You're just one person, I just realized that. To understand the problem, let's say two Copycats are playing against each other. Being nice players, both their first moves will be cooperate. Yay! And normally, they just pay back each other's kindness and sing Kumbaya until the end of time. But what if, while trying to reciprocate goodness... Oh no! Mistakes, miscommunication, misinterpretations. Accidents happen. That's fun. Accidents happen all the time in real life. Oh no, I know it. But if the person doesn't think it was an accident... Oh no, ×2! The other player, being a copycat, had to retaliate. And you, being a copycat as well, will also have to retaliate. Thus, like the Hatfields and McCoys, two copycats will spiral into an endless cycle of vengeance that started over a single mistake long ago. Wow. If you don't know, those are families that had a feud, and I think actual deaths took place. Oh, it's so funny hearing it. Oh, it's funny in the simulation, but in real life, tragic. That's my thoughts exactly. But now there are other types of players who can deal with mistakes. Let's meet some new faces, or new hats anyway. Copy Kitten. Hello, I'm like Copycat, except I cheat back only after you cheat me twice in a row. After all, the first one could be a mistake. Benefit of the doubt. That's sneaky. Yeah, it's kind of how I am sometimes. If somebody does something I think is wrong, or says something rude to me, I think they might have meant it in a different way, or I might have misinterpreted, because I do that a lot. Then there's a simpleton. I try start cooperate. If you cooperate back, I do same thing as last move, even if it mistake. If you cheat back, I do opposite thing as last move, even if it mistake. I don't speak good English either. That's funny, because I just played a game with some friends of mine called Poetry for Neanderthals. Some more free advertising there, but it's a pretty fun game where you have to speak in one syllable words, and that's all you can do. You can speak full sentences, but it's all one syllable words anyway. So let me see if I get that. Start with cooperate. If you cooperate back, I do it again. The same thing you did, even if it's a mistake. If you cheat back, so you just don't know. If you cheat back, I do the opposite thing as a last move. Now, how do I make mistakes in this game? Can I do... Okay. Random monkey, robot, ninja, pizza, tacos. Lol, I'm so random. Just place cheat or cooperate randomly with a 50% chance. That might be a good strategy, I don't know. It just takes a lot of luck, I guess. Alright, let's see how well these peeps do when they play in a tournament. Oh dear. Let's start with a dozen, always cooperates, versus our old winner, the fair copycats, and our three new characters, the forgiving copykitten, the dull simpleton, and the silly random. In each round of a match, 3 of each of those, in each round of a match, players have a small chance of making a mistake. Let's say 5%. Okay, that's a lot of data here. Who do you think will come out on top? Think carefully, then place your bets. I'm gonna guess the copykitten, but okay, let's wait. Start cooperating. Then, if you cooperated in the last round, it repeats his last move. I still don't quite get the simpleton, but it says a lot about me in real life too. If you cooperate, it does the same thing it did before. Or they do the same thing they did before. If you cheat, they switch from their last move. Okay. I kind of feel like the random guy is going to do a good job. Let's do it. All right, you bet random wins. Let's find out. There's a control you left to start the sim. Let's just start it. Go rando, go rando, go rando. No! The simpleton! That was my second choice, actually. Your bet was close, but no cigar. Simpleton wins. This is because Simpleton is actually capable of exploiting always cooperate. They both start cooperating, but if Simpleton makes some mistakes and cheats, always cooperate never retaliates. It'll keep cheating them. Huh. So I cheat you by accident. Now let's try the same thing as before, but except instead of half always cooperate, it's half always cheat. Uh-oh. It's a much less forgiving, more hostile environment. Who do you think will win now? I want to say Simpleton, but probably I'll cheat. You bet on always cheat. Again, go through the simulation. Oh! The copykitten! Huh. Good guess, but someone else took the prize. Well, they're kind of losing here. Copykitten wins this time. That's surprising that they're going to die eventually, right? It's taken a while. Oh, okay. Someone else took the prize. Copykitten wins this time. That's surprising that with an even meaner starting population, Copykitten, a more forgiving version of Copycat, was the most successful. Forgiveness is the way sometimes. Copykitten is so forgiving it doesn't even entirely wipe out Copycat. It shares room, well, for a while. In this case, a bit of miscommunication, 5% chance of making a mistake each round, could lead to, that was a mistake, could lead to more forgiveness. But is this true for all levels of miscommunication? Use the slider below to change the amount of miscommunication and then hit start. At 5%, Copykitten wins. What happens at 0%? Everybody's perfect. Or 20%, or 50%. If it goes up to 50%, or it goes up to 50%, because at that point, every move is a coin flip. Okay, let's do it. Well, the Copykittens are doing well. Can they keep it up? Oh, man. Let's try that one again and see if Copycats win. Nope, they keep getting overpowered. Well, nope, they won that time. There's a chance of either one of them winning. It's weird. Suppose it's really clumsy or the weather's really bad. What happens? Wow! I didn't take long. They always cheat. Woo! Oh, man. This is why education matters, y'all. Okay, 50. Let's try it. Huh? That's different. That's random, but yeah. Always cheat. Has the advantage. Oh, man. It's like watching a football game, y'all. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? What are the odds? Can they defy the odds? Is this the end for so-and-so team? Really exciting, isn't it? It's a little tougher for them when it's 50-50, but they are still dominating somehow. I actually kind of want to see them dominate just because I'm OCD. I want to see it all the same. Even if they're all a bunch of thugs. At least they're a family of thugs. Okay. Or a family of imbeciles. What was the term? Whatever. Come on, get them imbeciles. Get them! I forget what they're called, sir. Simpletons. I kind of prefer simpletons. Okay. Shoot. Oh, they're gonna win! Oh, holy crap! shoot, this is exciting. This would be so exciting. And showing their scores, too. Somebody win already! Simpletons win! Oh, yay! Yeah, I prefer that over the cheaters. The results turn out something like this. At 0%, the fair copycat wins. At 1 to 9%, the forgiving copykitten wins. At 10 to 49%, the unfair, unforgiving, always cheat wins. At 50%, nobody wins ever. Well, okay. Well, this eventually happened. This is why miscommunication is such an interesting barrier to trust. A little bit of it leads to forgiveness, but too much and leads to widespread distrust. I think our modern media technology, as much as it has helped increase communication, has increased our miscommunication. For example, miscommunication much more. Oh man, that says a lot about us and about the media and the people with the loudest voices. That if you got a loud voice, you have got to be careful what you say. This is why it matters. This is a simulation, but people will believe you if you are convincing enough. Whew. And loud enough. You got the means and the talent to convey ideas. Make sure they're good ideas, y'all. Or if you're planning to be that way sometime, make sure your ideas are right, or likely to be right. I could get into so many specifics there, but I'm not going to. At last, let's experiment with all the numbers, the knobs and sliders. Let's play into the sandbox mode. Okay, this is totally optional. Feel free to skip it or play around. Once you're done, let's recap. Okay, let's, this distribution. Oh, that moves the others, too. They just put in random ones? I do want to try at least one of these. 5%, let's see, 5% chance of making a mistake. Eliminate the bottom 5 and reproduce the top 5. 10 rounds for Matchworks. Payoffs are that. What if there's a big reward for both cooperating? That's better than cheating. Let's do that. Okay. And let's make it even here. Make it all 5. Or all 3. Okay, close enough. Let's do it. Who wins? The cooperators! And they always cooperate. That's beautiful. Well, them and the copycats. The copykittens. How cool. And then cooperators take over. How nice. And eventually, they got... Looks like they have a pretty even chance there. Now, what if there's no payoff? Then who wins? That's what I thought. There ain't no point in cooperating if there's no payoff. If I don't get nothing out of it. Some people can do things for others and not expect any reward. Or, in the Christian faith, we expect a reward that you don't see yet, but it will come eventually. But, or a lot of other faiths too. But some people can say, I may or may not get a reward for this, but I'll do it because it's the right thing to do. Wow. Suppose nothing happens if you both cheat. Cheaters never prosper, literally. But you both get 3 coins if you cooperate, so nothing happens unless you both cooperate. Wow. That's the cooperators again. Now, how can we make this realistic? How can we make these rules realistic? People make mistakes way more than 5% of the time, and they don't usually interact with somebody this often every time they interact with somebody. So most people you see, then you just leave them alone, or read something they say, and then you move on social media. Ew. And what are the payoffs? What are the real payoffs in real life? God only knows. Okay, what we learned today. Game theory has shown us the 3 things we need for the evolution of trust. Repeat interactions. Trust keeps a relationship going, but you need the knowledge of possible future repeat interactions before trust can evolve. 2. Possible win-wins. You must be playing a non-zero-sum game, a game where it's at least possible that both players can be better off, a win-win. And 3. Low miscommunication. If the level of miscommunication is too high, trust breaks down. But when there's a little bit of miscommunication, it pays to be more forgiving. Yeah. And there's going to be a little bit in every interaction, so that's very good advice. Of course, real-world trust is affected by much more than this. Thank you for saying that. I was going to say, you can't solve every problem with data theory. I got a very high percentage of mistake making, don't I? But you can't solve everything with science or experiments. A lot of things, a lot goes into becoming a jerkwad. Yeah, you have to really work at that. It's easy at first, but then you have to keep it steady. You have to keep a steady stream of distrust, I guess you could say. And of course, the opposite for being a trusting person. That's something I'm still working on, by the way. Trusting people, and trusting certain types of people. I can believe, if people I don't trust, I can believe maybe I have the wrong idea about them. People I do trust, sometimes they might betray me. I've been betrayed before on a couple occasions in serious ways, and I can deal with it, but wasn't expecting that. So it's a lot of factors, and there's no predicting the future. Sometimes you do just have to be the random guy. Trust or not trust, to trust or not to trust. So much deepness. There's reputation. Oh yeah. Shared values, contracts, cultural markers, blah blah blah. And let's not forget the biggest lesson. If there's one big takeaway, yay, from all game theory, it's this. What the game is defines what the players do. Our problem today isn't just that people are losing trust, it's that our environment acts against the evolution of trust. That may seem cynical or naive, that we're merely products of our environment. There's some truth to that. But as game theory reminds us, we are each other's environment. In the short run, the game defines the players. But in the long run, it's us players who define the game. It sounds like a loop there. We define the game, that defines the players, that defines us, that defines the game, and defines it for other people. Whew! Much deepness. So do what you can do to create the conditions necessary to evolve trust. Build relationships. Find win-wins. Communicate clearly. I've been working on that so long. I still got a long way to go there. Maybe then we can stop firing at each other, get out of our own trenches, cross no man's land, and then to come together and all learn to live and let live. This is a Christmas truce between opposing trenches, illustrated by A.C. Michael. Wow. They've been shooting at each other, but as long as it stops, they can trust each other. Oh man. What does this do? Take us to the beginning. Oh boy. That's based off a book. Okay, the evolution of cooperation. I might have to read that. Oh man, so a lot of things I didn't think about. Again, this does not create the perfect solution or anything like it for solving our distrust problem here in the world, but this did get me thinking about things I hadn't thought about, like why do people distrust each other? And there are the obvious reasons, but could there be more to it? Why is trust so hard to maintain? And why do people suddenly cooperate or suddenly not cooperate? Well, people are crazy, as they say, but there's a method to that craziness. Oh man, and I could go on and on and on. I probably will someday, but that's not what I do here on this channel. In this channel I game and occasionally get deep. So, hope that was educational for you, and if not, at least kind of interesting. Like I said, I mostly prefer to do games on this channel, but I do love games that teach lessons, and anything interactive that teaches lessons. So, and that, if nothing else, gets you to think about the world in new ways, and about others in new ways. And even if you end up forgetting that lesson, it's just fun to think about in the meantime. Anyway, I think I've gone deep enough, so I'm going to crawl out of this big deep hole I've dug for myself, get back to talking like this, and say thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, adios amigos. God bless, and I'll see you around. If y'all want me, I'll be in the basement.